What is religion? What's the point of it?
We've seen now through a lot of the segments in this program that one of the issues we find with the religious structures of government worldwide is that they are being led by men who are perhaps not implementing the true religion of God in their societies or in their governmental structures.
Yes, and we see that religion really has failed. Not because religion has failed in itself, but because religion has always been corrupted, so much so that today we find ourselves in a society where people really will like to hear, I think, the answer of what is the point of religion, you know? And the question comes, I think, let's just throw religion away and we keep just spirituality. So is spirituality enough? This is a question.
And ironically, it becomes this corrupted idea that we see now, generally in religion, right? Which is, like you said, we want to retain the spiritualism because something is wrong with the structure overall. And perhaps the core reason for that is the whole point of religion got lost.
The world is completely in chaos right now. The state of the world is such that we need to fix it. And the only force capable of fixing this chaos and this mess is God. So then how do we reach salvation? That's the question.
That is the question.
So we see indeed that the world is in chaos and that we need God. And I think we have tried as the human species, we have tried without God. And we have reached the point now we see it's not working. I would like to say maybe we should give God a chance, right?
No, absolutely. I think the whole point of the fact that God's message was the true meaning of salvation, without that it will not work. And the false meaning of salvation, which is your own spiritual journey towards God and everyone else can do their own thing and it's not your business, that's a problem. That's where society is not able to function right. So what does it mean to be able to reach salvation? Doesn't it mean to become more godly, to become more divine, to learn how to be more godly? And what is it to be more godly than to help one another and build that society or that state where people are taken care of and everyone is fine, everyone has what they need?
Exactly, and I think also you said that many ideas of religion got lost, and when we speak about Buddhism, often also I think that we have a very strange version of Buddhism. I don't think it's the real version of Buddhism. Is very beautiful because in the next clip we are going to see, Aba Al Sadiq from Hemispace is clarifying that the true message of Buddha and the true way of salvation that he was proposing.
The real reason why the Buddha was sent was not just so that he could teach people on an individual basis that they can't hurt others, but rather that they help the Buddha and they collectively ensure that the atmosphere and the space and the city and the planet that they're living on is a place where bad things can't happen, where they put an end to the ability of anybody else to bring forward bad karma or to hurt somebody. It's attaining salvation through saving others.
This is the entire point. And like you said, right now we find that in Buddhism as well, the core message of Buddha seems to have been very diluted, if not completely corrupted. The whole point of God's religion on earth has been the collective well-being of people, of mankind. It cannot be that one part of the body is well while the rest of the body is not well. It has to be that the whole is all right.
I think we have seen now, with so many revolutions, with so many new way of thinking and organizing the people, the only way for it to change is that the head has to be changed.
The head has to be the right head.
Exactly.
There's narrations from the Ahl Bayt salam that state that if the Muslims would have accepted Imam Ali salam from the beginning, we would be at a point right now where they would be eating from their left and the right and above them and below them. There would be no discomfort. Muslims and Islam would be at the forefront of the world. The whole world would be Muslim. We would be living already in a divine just state. We would be living in paradise if the people had accepted the ruler that was appointed by God.
a divine just state is a possibility, is something that the people can have, but it cannot happen without complying with the system that God himself has put in place. And in the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him and his family, he made it extremely clear who should be succeeding him. And for today, and that was Imam Ali, who the people rejected. In today's day and age, we know that Imam Mahdi is that rightful vicegerent, and he is the one appointing the effective head of the faith, who is the riser of the family of Muhammad. And the whole point of this understanding of religion goes back to the same thing, which is it's not about laws and jurisprudence and my journey versus your journey. It's about how do we as a species work together to build that society that God is telling us is possible to live in.
Exactly, and the man who should rule this organization, this society, has to be the wisest of them all. God sent a man, and this man is always at the front wave of the evolution of religion. Absolutely. So today, this man will be from the successor of Muhammad, who was the last of the prophets, and he is from this line of successors that is mentioned in the will of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him and his family. So this man, of course, will have this knowledge and this influence, but the state that he promised is a universal state where everybody will be welcome and everybody will be finally be able to live in peace.
The whole point of religion and the whole sending of a representative of himself that carries within him the Spirit of God is to create a heaven, a utopia on earth as it is in heaven. Yeah. But the only reason why it's working in heaven is because in that realm, the kingship's to God. Rulership's to God. He's the one who's walking in the garden, right? And he's overseeing creation and he's present over there. So because he's present and because he's in charge, because he's being obeyed, because he's being recognized, because his commandments are being upheld in that world, we have a perfect place that's going on. And so he decides to send his Spirit into this world so that he also may give commandments, guide people, be obeyed, and create on earth a utopia, a heaven on earth, so to speak, where there's no suffering and where everybody gets along and shares in all things. Yeah. So that's the point.
What I find very interesting about what we just saw right there is that not only is God saying that there is a way to live in a divine just state where people are taken care of and live in harmony and their rights are given to them and no minority is being oppressed and everyone has what they need and they don't have to earn their right to food or to housing or any of these things. What I find very fascinating is that in today's day and age, we also have a man who is practically demonstrating how it can happen. This is not just a theoretical, utopic idea. This is an actual practical concept. It's a reality that many live today, yes. Believers in the riser from him is peace, and also a reality that can expand and will as time goes by. We will be going on later on through this program into more practical aspects of how that would work and what that entails. Yes. So stay tuned for that, and let's go on to the next part of our show.